This comment is exactly why I left Protestantism. When I came to the faith, listen, Protestants brought me to the faith, and then they told me that Catholicism is the Antichrist. It is praying to the dead, it's praying to Mary, it is statues, idolaters, the Eucharist isn't real, it's a symbol. I went to services where they gave me a little grape juice and cracker, and I was like, what the heck is this? They told me all these things, praying to the dead and praying to Mary, none of it's biblical. I believed that. However, after watching and listening to hundreds of sermons, they all said the same thing. They all brought it back to themselves. I knew a lot about the pastor, but I didn't know other Bible verses and connecting other Bible verses. It was all about love. There was no meat. There was no narrow road. There was no work out your salvation through fear and trembling. There was no, you have to keep the commandments as Jesus commanded. You have to ensure that you're not a fornicator, an adulteress, you're not coveting, you're not a drunkard, you're not an extortioner, because those will not possess the kingdom of God. That's in 1 Corinthians. Paul would read this and flip a table. He would door knock. He would write his own letter. Jesus did all the work and gives you a free gift. It's free. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to earn it. What a revelation. Thank you so much, Cherokee. I am so enlightened that I don't have to do anything. That is so different than the free will that the Lord gives you. You reject the free will, or you covet something that is your neighbor's, or you covet someone else like your neighbor's wife, like watching pornography, or by playing with yourself, or by gaming, or by skipping Sunday service to go watch football, putting gaming above reading the Bible or praying or not repenting. You're not working out your salvation. You have to do something to earn your salvation if you're alive. You wake up, you have to do something. You either get on your phone and you watch illicit material, or you either come home from work and you get drunk, or you don't. By the act of living, you have to do God's will or not God's will. And the crux of this comes down to one thing that I consistently heard when I'm listening to all of these famous podcasts. These people are making tons of money, hundreds of thousands of subscribers to these Protestant podcasts. We all know who they are. We all know the names. They're all famous. Some of them go to college camp, everything. One of the biggest things that I kept on seeing is something like this. You don't have to do anything. It's a free gift. You just live. Okay, why did I hear people before marriage having relationships with each other? That's called adultery. What about the people that are putting things above the Lord as the most important thing? That's called idolatry. What about lusting after your neighbor or coveting your neighbor's goods? That's breaking a commandment. I heard none of that. That's why you have to do something just by the act of being alive. By being alive. I don't know why this is so hard. You can't be alive and just have faith. Otherwise, you're just by yourself somehow surviving in a cave and just having faith. But even then, you still are having thoughts and you still are potentially sinning. Are you repenting? Are you asking for God's forgiveness? This is what I'm talking about. This is the lukewarmness of Protestantism that is making people like me be like, it's icky to have no standards. It's icky to not care about what you're doing, how you're affecting your neighbors or your wife or your friends or your colleagues, okay? Anyway, I'll reply to another one.